In October of 1968, the Young family, along with the Botts and Salem and Birdie Warfle, traveled from Michigan to Nebraska and stayed with Jake Cole and family. Jake is second from left in this picture, probably about 1946. Many in our family have wondered what the connection to Uncle Jay Cole was, and it goes back to the settlement of Leonard Cole on Bell Oak Road in Locke Township in 1839 from western New York. Leonard and his brother cleared land when neighbors were neither numerous nor easily reached. Leonard Cole married Emily Chalker in New York, and Emily was a cousin of the father of Chalker siblings that married William Warfle's siblings, Daniel and Mary Warfle. Leonard and Emily Cole had 5 sons shown here about 1870. The youngest sons, Chandler, top right, and Almond, bottom left, were the grandfather of Birdie Cole Warfle and the father of Jake Cole. Chandler Cole married Amelia Barnes in Locke Township in 1866. Chandler and Amelia had 8 children in Michigan, Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, and back in Michigan again before Chandler died in Locke Township in 1883. Two of Chandler and Amelia Cole's boys were Andrew and Charles Cole, born in Missouri and Iowa, but living in Locke Township in the 1880s. Andrew and Charles Cole married twin sisters in Locke Township, Nora and Dora Tyler. Nora Tyler Cole died after having at least one child, and then Andrew Cole remarried to Etta Cole when Dora Tyler Cole took in Andrew's daughter Iva, in addition to Charles and Dora Cole's children, Jason Cole and Rosalie Warfle Young's stepmother Birdie Cole, who was born in 1899. Charles Cole married Dora Tyler in 1894. Charles Cole died in 1936, but Dora lived until 1953, and Dora Cole was the midwife that delivered Rosalie Young in 1932. Dora Cole was a beloved surrogate grandmother for Rosalie Warfle, even if Birdie Cole Warfle was not a good surrogate mother after Rosalie's biological mother, Lila Hart Warfle, died in 1937. Almond Cole, Chandler Cole's younger brother, married Jane Hoskins, shown here in Kansas with their daughter Minta, in Locke Township in 1867, and they had 5 children on a Locke Township farm from 1868 to 1878. By 1892, they were living in Pittsburgh, Kansas, with 3 of their young adult children, leaving the oldest daughter in Michigan and another living separately out west. Jane Hoskins Cole died in Kansas from stomach cancer in 1896. Almond Cole went to a farm near Merna, Nebraska, about 1897 after his wife Jane died in Kansas, and in January 1901, in Broken Bow, Nebraska, Almond Cole married Lucretia Hill McQuisson, who had 4 children in Ohio before moving to Nebraska with her husband about 1885, where she had 5 more children. Lucretia's husband died in 1896, and she still had the 5 Nebraska-born children in her household, a farm, on the 1900 census. She was 40 when she married Almond. Lucretia owned a farm free of mortgage on the 1900 census. Almond also owned a Nebraska farm free of mortgage on the 1900 census, with no children listed in his household. Almond and Lucretia had John Jack Cole in December 1901 and Jacob J. Cole in July 1903. Almond Cole, shown here with 3 of his adult children on the McQuisson-Merna, Nebraska homestead about 1912, originally lived with his new family in a Nebraska dugout on the McQuisson homestead, where Jake and Jack Cole were born in 1903 and 1901. Jake Cole sometimes stated that he was born in a cave, and Jack Cole's obituary stated he was born in a dugout, probably similar to the one pictured here, on his mother's homestead north of Merna, Nebraska. So it seems that both Jack and Jake were born in a dugout on the McQuisson homestead in the early 1900s. By the 1912 photos, a house was built on the homestead, Jack's obituary also stated that he lived on his mother's homestead for his entire life, while Jake moved from farm to farm. In this account of Jake Cole's life that Jake wrote, Jake and Alma, whom were married in 1927, lived on 5 different farms, including their last farm near Merna, Nebraska, that was sold to Max Blodgett in 1965, before our family was there in 1968. There were 3 farm moves during the Dust Bowl years of the 1930s, when the sandhills of western Nebraska were greatly stressed. Jake mentions his great-uncle George Eblin, who left the Gallipolis, Ohio area with his wife, Lucretia McQuisson's aunt, by 1880 to homestead in the Merna, Nebraska area, probably the first in the family to go to Nebraska. This photo, probably taken about 1946, when Jake's half-brother Alvin Cole, far right with his family, retired from farming near Merna, shows Jake, second from left, and Alma, bottom right, probably before they had any biological children. They seemed to have 2 adopted children at that time, probably family members, James and Janet. The first indication of biological children was in 1954, when Lucretia Cole was born, and in 1958 when Mary Alma was born. Alma Cole would have been 44 and 47 when her only 2 surviving children were born. Note the sandhill to the left behind Jake's Wester hat. These hills were common sites when we hunted the various farms that Jake probably farmed in previous years when we were there in 1968. This is a picture of Lucretia Cole in 8th grade in 1968, looking very much like the precocious young lady that we saw at that time. Within 2 or 3 years, Lucretia would be married and living in Pocatello, Idaho. In 1977, Jake and Alma Cole marked 50 years of marriage, looking just slightly older than they did in 1968. Jake visited Michigan around this time, as Greg Young remembers, Jake telling Robert Young how they tied up broken hay bales back in Nebraska. Jake's father, Alman, and Birdie Cole Warfle's grandfather, Chandler, were brothers, making Birdie and Jake first cousins once removed. Jake's father and mother did travel to the west by covered wagon, and Jake was born in a cave, as he liked to say, but the cave was a Nebraska dugout,